Hey guys, what's going on? It's another idol. We are back inside of Destiny. We're back talking about all of the new exciting Taken King stuff. And as promised, this video is about the issue of leveling. And we're going to have some added stuff in there about factions and some more interesting changes. So without further ado, let's get into this video and let's talk about the issue of leveling. And this piece of information is regarding the whole leveling system as a whole. In the Taken King, it's undergone an overhaul, and the way that we level up our characters is going to change. At the moment, we earn the vast majority of our XP through bounties, dailies, and some other tasks that aren't too XP heavy, and it feels like a bit of a grind currently. So XP now is going to feed into the new level cap, which is going to be set at 40. Weapons and armor are still going to provide us with increased power to our characters, but it's going to try and close the gaps that were created with RNG. Just speaking about RNG, by the way, it seems that this aspect of the game is also going to be getting a slight tweak. Bungie mentioned that they'd implemented a smart loot system with the Dark Below, and we saw that in action in Crota's End. It kind of worked. By no means was it perfect, but it was a vast improvement on loot drop rates from, the Vault of Glass, where it was pretty much impossible to get a certain piece of armor. So they are tweaking RNG, so you're not going to have a hard time leveling up in the Taken King, which is great. Another thing that I want to kind of tie in with leveling, it doesn't tie in directly, but it's kind of related, is reputations and factions. You level them up, so that's the connection in my mind. You can see where I'm going with it. Anyway, there are to be some big changes with factions, and they're going to actually be new factions added to the game. The Gunsmith is now going to have a rep. It's not going to be a faction as such, but the higher your rep, he's going to provide you with prototype weapons, and these are going to be offered to you the higher your rep, and you're going to actually be able to test them in field for the Gunsmith, and then you're going to get offered rep based on your findings. Reaching a certain rep level with Banshee also allows you access to Arms Day, which is a weekly purchase that allows you to order legendary guns with Glimmer, which is a fantastic addition to the game. This was always something that people talked about, new ways to use Glimmer, and people always were asking, why can't I buy guns with Glimmer instead of marks, blah blah blah. But this is actually a chance for this to happen, which I think is a fantastic addition to the game. I'm really looking forward to having the Gunsmith more involved, because he was abandoned for a very long time. Then rerolling came in, he had a bit more use, but now this is actually a great addition. I'm really excited about this. Another change to factions is that Crucible and Vanguard marks are going to be gone. They're going to disappear. And there's going to be a universal legendary marks for legendary vendor purchases. So this is just a universal currency. They're trying to cut down on the amount of currencies that we currently have. So we're going to have one currency, which is going to be legendary marks. And this can be purchased for vendor gear wherever. Crucible faction, other vendors, done. That is great. So hopefully they're going to increase the cap on that. It's not going to be 200. I'd imagine if they combine them, it'd be 400. But 500 would be pretty good too. But I might expect to see weapons and armor increase in price because of that. We're also going to see class-specific materials that are needed for upgrading are going to disappear as well. So hydronic essence, armor plating, etc. Are going to be replaced by armor materials. And this is going to be making it easier to utilize materials on one character. So you can switch them over and, upgrade your character quicker, faster, more efficiently. In terms of leveling up factions, at the minute we have to wear a class item when leveling up. This is also going to disappear. We now have a system where you pledge allegiance to a faction. So you don't have to wear that New Monarchy cloak if you're a hunter, or, you don't have to wear the Future War Cult mark. That's all disappearing. You've pledged allegiance to a faction, and that's how you level it up. Interesting choice by Bungie there. I kind of liked how some of the faction items looked, but again, I'm not worried about this at all. It seems like they're heading in the right direction with all of the changes that they're making so far. And one of the last tidbits of information that's been released so far is that you can now turn in materials to these faction vendors for rep games. So you can turn in, I'd imagine it would be planetary materials, things like motes of light, etc., etc. It's going to be like the speaker with the glimmer exchange and all the material exchange, but instead of getting materials back or glimmer back, you're going to be getting faction rep instead, which is a more interesting way of leveling up factions. So I'd imagine that faction packages are going to become more easier to attain. So drop rates, I don't know what's going to happen there, but hopefully they improve on faction packages as well as the way that you earn faction rep. So overall, these are very interesting changes. I can't wait to see how Bungie's going to handle the crossover in this update with players' current progress. Hopefully we don't see a complete reset on faction rep, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was some sort of reset going on, because it is a pretty big overhaul to the whole system. But I don't think that would happen. I think that would cause too much of an uproar, but if it did happen, I wouldn't be completely surprised. So that is all the information that I have at the moment at time of recording about leveling up and factions and what's going to happen, etc., etc. There's, like I said in the last video, there's a lot more to come. Hopefully Bungie release some more stuff about this. I'm very interested to see what they've got to say about this whole leveling up and etc., etc. The next video, what we're going to touch on is weapons and legendaries and things like that. That's a burning question for many people in the Destiny community. A lot of people have been disappointed with how it's going to be handled, but I'm not worried. We'll cover it all in the next video. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a good day. See you next time back inside of Destiny.